Hello, everyone out there in YouTube land. Welcome back to Diego Knows. I, of course, am Diego. And today we're going to continue to talk about High Fidelity. That's right, High Fidelity. That wonderful, wonderful guy chick flick. Yes, guy chick flick from the year 2000. It's a great movie. It stars John Cusack. He plays a record store owner in Chicago, Illinois, my hometown, in Wicker Park specifically. And it's called Championship Vinyl, and he sells old records there because it's the year 2000 and nobody has records anymore. Records hadn't made a comeback yet. And it's about his dating life. It's about all the girlfriends that he's had, all the girls that have broken his heart, why he can't understand why this keeps happening to him. So he goes through the list of his top 5 worst breakups, and he hunts down every single girl to find out why they dumped him, why they broke his heart, why they cheated on him. Okay, because his current ex-girlfriend dumped him in front of the guy, their upstairs neighbor. Okay, so once he figures that out, he starts second guessing all of his girlfriends that he had in the past, and he's trying to figure out why they all kept breaking his heart, why they kept hurting him. Okay, so that's the point of the movie. That's what the movie's about. Okay, so this movie shows you the prats and pitfalls of dating from a straight man's point of view. That's right, a straight man's point of view. That's the point of view you never got when you watched fucking Sex and the City and all the goddamn Julia Roberts and Meg Ryan fucking rom-coms that are out there, and the J-Lo rom-coms too. You never got the guy's point of view. You always got the girl's point of view. You never get the guy's point of view. This movie gives you the guy's point of view. Okay, that's what makes this movie special. Okay, he's not trying to solve a crime. He's not trying to catch a serial killer. He's not trying to stop terrorists. Okay, aliens have not invaded. It's none of that shit. It's just a guy trying to figure out why his girls keep dumping him. Okay, that's what it's about, all right? And it's a great fucking movie, and it's so fucking brutally honest, okay? I read the book as well. The book came out in the 90s. It's written by Nick Hornsby, okay? In the book takes place in London, okay? It's a British guy that all this shit's going on to, okay? But when John Cusack got the rights to make the movie, he made it take place in America. So it's an American movie now. But the book takes place in London, all right? Okay, so now we got that out of the way. Okay, I'm Diego. I give you a straight man's point of view, so I'm gonna talk to you the way I would talk to anybody about anything. All right, so I curse, I swear, I'm very opinionated. I'm a strong, opinionated man. The real question is, can you handle it? Can you handle the truth? Because that's what I'm gonna give you here. A straight dose of truth, baby. Straight up with no lube. No lube. All right, not here. So the real question is, can you handle it? All right, because I don't think you can. I really don't think you can. I think you're safe watching your fucking Meg Ryan movies and watching your Netflix shows, you know, where the women are always cheating on their husbands and giving each other high fives about it. But when a guy does it, he's a piece of shit. But when a woman does it, she's opinionated. She's strong and independent. Get the fuck out of here with that nonsense, all right? This movie actually tells you what it's really like to be a guy, okay? The things that we think about. Now Rob is an average guy, okay? Yes, he owns his own record shop, okay? But he's not rich or anything, okay? In fact, he still owes his ex-girlfriend like 4 or 5 grand that he borrowed from her. He hasn't been able to pay back, okay? So this guy doesn't have everything going for him. He's a normal guy. He's got problems like anybody else. He has insecurities like anybody else. I think he's a little bit more depressed than your average guy. He spends the entire movie all melancholy and brooding and somber, you know, and just like, you know, like moody, you know. He spends the whole movie that way. Whether his girlfriend dumped him or whether they got back together, he still feels that he still acts that way, okay? He's been that way since before he even met his current girlfriend, all right? So he's just that way, okay? So anyway, so the part that we're on now is his ex-girlfriend Laura, the one that cheated on him with the other guy, with Tim Robbins' character, Ian. Okay, her dad died. He was invited to the funeral because her dad died not knowing that his daughter and him had broken up, and he was close with him. So he goes to the funeral, he tells her he's sorry, okay, and then he goes out in the rain, okay, and she follows him out there in her car. She picks him up. He's covered in rain and mud, and she fucks him anyway. Okay, she fucks him in the passenger seat, okay, in the car, okay. Now, in the book, they did not have sex yet. They had sex later on when they got back together, okay, but in the book, he asked her, hey, did you have a condom? When you were cheating on me with the other guy, you know, and then when you lived with that other guy, did you wear a condom the whole time you were with him? And she's like, no. He's like, well, then this ain't gonna happen. But in the movie, it happens. Yeah, I guess there's no fucking STDs in fucking in Chicago, right? No, there's not. Okay, anyway, moving right along. So that's going on. So they have sex, and of course he immediately agrees to take her back, despite the fact that she was having an affair with their neighbor the whole fucking time they were together, or most of the time they were together, and she didn't tell him about it. You know, he just came home one day and she said, I'm out of here. Didn't even tell her that she left him for another guy. He had to find out later on that she left him for another guy. You know, all that kind of shit. All the bullshit she put him through, all the nightmares he was having, the anxiety attacks. He's chain smoking like crazy. He's second guessing himself. You know, he's basically on the brink of suicide here. You know, he's embarrassed by this. You know, he can't understand why this keeps happening to him. You know, he's really he's really in a bad place. Despite the, yes, he fucks a hot girl during this time. Okay, Lisa Bonet's character, Marie DeSalle. Okay, but other than that little bit of happiness that he experiences, for the rest of the time, he's fucking upset. He's hurt. He's jealous. He's angry. You know, he's wondering if this guy is better in bed than he is. You know, he fantasizes about beating the shit out of this guy. He harasses him. He stalks him because he's so fucking insecure. You know, he completely emasculates himself, embarrasses himself. You know, he's over there fucking blowing up her phone from the payphone across the street in the fucking rain. You know, and he's reliving all his fucking hard breakups, and then she says, "Hey, I want to get back together. Let's fuck." And he's like, "Okay, yeah, no problem." You know, like all that shit didn't happen. Get the fuck out of here. Of course it happened. Now I understand why they did this. It did this for time. Okay, you can't spit an entire novel and fit it into an hour and a half, almost 2-hour movie. Okay, so they had to like cut out some stuff. You know, keep the important things in there. And so, yeah, of course they have to have sex. Otherwise, you know, they can't. They have to physically consummate their relationship again, rekindle their relationship. So, of course, he takes her back. Although in the book, he did take her back as well, but they didn't have sex yet. They had sex later on. He had to make sure that the fucking AIDS that was in her and all the other fucking diseases that Ian gave her were out of her system, okay? Luckily, they were before he fucked her again, all right? Now, he also had sex, unprotected sex, but we don't need to talk about that, right? Anyway, moving right along. So that's going on here. So they're back together now. He's happy and everything. Everything's fine. Now, when she moved out of his apartment, out of their apartment, when she moved out, she kept coming back to the apartment to get more stuff. Okay, she had, hey, are you going to be at the apartment today? Because I need to get some of my shit. I want to make sure you're not there when I get there to get my shit. And of course, he shows up. Oh, what you done me? You know, that kind of shit, right? But now that she decided to move back in, she moves everything back in at once. Like, she doesn't need to go back to Ian's place anymore. She moves everything in all at once. All right? Yeah, so that should tell you something. You know, and he's happy. He's happy. You know, he's talking to her about music again. Shit that, and she doesn't really give a shit about it. Believe it or not, she doesn't really give a shit about records. Now Rob is obsessed with records. That's the industry he's in. He sells records. He knows everything about records, obscure bands you've never heard of, songs you've never heard of. You know, he could give you a top 5 list of all that kind of shit. Him and his employees, Jack Black and Dick, okay, Barry and Dick, his employees, they're just like him as far as that goes. They know everything about records. They're cultural elitists. Okay? He's also making a top 5 list of all this kind of shit that's going on in his life. Top 5 food, top 5 dream jobs, top 5 breakups, top 5 everything. All right, and this is no different. Okay, so for him, everything's a top 5 something. Okay, well now that they're back together, Laura is starting to assert herself here. Like, hey, you know what? This whole top 5, this whole record thing. Okay, you don't have to put all that shit on me because you know, I only pretended to like that shit because I loved you. Okay, which is true. Hey, yeah, it's true. It's true. She tells him, I only put up with that shit because it was important to you. I liked being with you. I loved being with you, and this was important to you. So that's why I put up with it. Okay, but I'm not as crazy by this shit as you are. You know, and which is true. You know, and I've done that as well. Like, you know, I've probably forced ex-girlfriends to see a few superhero movies that they would not have seen on their own. Okay, so yeah, you know, hey. We're guilty of that, ladies. We are, you know. And ladies, I want to say right now, I do appreciate the fact that you put up with some of the shit that we do, because I know there's a lot of girls I've dated that they would not have gone to go see fucking the Green Hornet movie with Seth Rogen. Okay, they would not have gone to see the fucking Speed Racer movie. Okay, they would not have gone to go see fucking Captain America: The Winter Soldier. Okay, they would not have gone to go see you know, Spider-Man 3. They would not have gone to go see that shit if it hadn't been for me. Okay, I know that. Okay, I get it. Okay, fucking, I just sit through a lot of their bullshit too. Okay, so yeah, so it's a give and take. All right, but yes, I understand that a lot of stuff you do, you pretend to like it because we like it. I get it. Okay, and I do appreciate it. I do appreciate it. Just for all guys out there, we do appreciate it. I just don't go overboard. Don't like pretend you like fucking football when you've never actually watched an entire fucking football game. All right, you know, like, don't do that kind of shit. Because now you're just pandering. Okay, now you're just fucking, you know, you're patronizing us and stuff. Don't do that. Anyway, moving right along. So that's going on. So they're back together. She moved back in. They're having sex again. They're shopping again. They're having dinner again. All that kind of stuff, you know. When all of a sudden, one day he's at work, and this hot girl walks into his store. okay, and she recognizes the music. He controls the music in the store. She recognizes the music he's playing, okay, and he starts flirting with her, and she starts flirting with him, okay. The girl, her name is Caroline, okay, and she is a music critic for The Reader. Now, for those of you who do not know, The Reader was this free newspaper in Chicago. I don't know if it's still there anymore, well, but remember, this is before the internet really took over everything, all right? Before social media, but there was no Facebook back then, all this kind of shit. This is the year 2000, okay? The movie was filmed in 1999. Okay, so we had internet, but we didn't have like fucking, like, there was no Facebook, there was no Instagram, there was none of that shit, all right? Excuse me. So she's there. She's the music critic for The Reader. The Reader's a free newspaper in Chicago where it just tells you about culture in the neighborhood, what's going on, you know, what's happening at the museum, what movies are showing at the obscure movie theater, you know, that kind of, what concerts are coming into town. That kind of shit is in there in The Reader. Okay, it's a local newspaper section. Okay. And I lived in the same neighborhood that this movie takes place in. So I used to go through there a lot. In fact, I would sign up for classes. I would look in The Reader and I'd find a class on something like past life regression or something. And I'd sign up, I'd call it up and I'd sign up for it, okay? Because that shit's fun. I love that shit like that. You know, taking classes on ballroom dancing. I would take classes on all sorts of stupid ass shit. Sculpture or whatever, just because it was there. It was advertised there, so I fucking did it, okay? You know? Like the treasure hunts and shit that they do in the city of Chicago, you know? You get limo treasure hunts, you know, scavenger hunts. You know, like they divide you up into teams. And you just get a limousine and you go to all these different fucking landmarks in Chicago to get clues. And at the end, you all meet up at this bar, get shit faced, and if somebody wins, they win something. I don't fucking know. Anyway, I never won. By the time I got there, I was already drunk. But anyway, so we do shit like that. That's what The Reader's for. Okay, it's just a cultural magazine. Okay, and she's there. She says she's a music critic, and he recognizes her. He's, oh, you're Caroline, whatever the fuck her name, Caroline Jones or whatever. And she's like, yeah, that's me. And then she tells me, he's like, you know what? You're Rob Gordon, aren't you? Didn't you used to DJ at the Double Door? That is you. You were the DJ at the Double Door because we used to come in there every weekend to see you. And that's true. He was a DJ. He mentioned that earlier in the movie, that when he first met Laura, his ex-girlfriend that they now got back together, the one this movie's all about, when he first met her, he was DJing at the Double Door. Now, Double Door is this bar. It's a bar. They have live music there. It's right there on the corner of North Avenue and Damon in Milwaukee. It's right across the street from Flash Taco. Yes, I said that, Flash Taco. Like I said, it's my fucking neighborhood. I've been at Double Door more times than I can fucking count. But they have live bands there. They have a stage and stuff, all right? I never went there when they had a DJ, but I have been there to see live bands, and I've gotten shit-faced there with my friends. Okay, I remember one of my friends, her boyfriend was playing, his band was playing there one night, and so we all had to go there to see. Everyone from work, we all showed up to go see him play in the band. He fucking sucked, but you didn't hear that from me. Anyway, so yeah, I seen a band there called Southern Comfort on the Skids. Yeah, I saw them there at Double Door, and I got shit-faced there with my friends, you know. It's just this nice place to go to, you know, listen to live music, meet people, hang out with your friends, act stupid, you know. The stuff you do when you're in your fucking 20s, and I was in my 20s, so of course I did. Yeah, I love the Double Door. I don't think it's there anymore. I think it shut down when COVID happened. I think they shut it down. Okay, I've not been there in a while, but it might still be there. I don't know. But those of you who are from the neighborhood there, okay, Wicker Park, Bucktown, you know where Double Door is, all right? So anyway, she says, I recognize you from Double Door. Used to DJ there. He's like, yes, I did. Now, what Rob said earlier in the movie, he became a DJ because he thought that by being a DJ, he would get to fuck a lot of hot girls, okay? And the only hot girl he ever met and fucked was Laura, okay? So this whole fantasy about being a DJ, you know, up to his neck in fucking poon, never really happened, okay? The only hot girl he met was Laura, okay? And that became his girlfriend, and then she moved in with him, which is what the movie's all about, them, okay? So he had no idea that other girls actually liked him too. Well, this girl had a thing for him apparently, because she used to come to her and her friends, she used to come there every week to hear him DJ, you know? So yeah, so he recognized her. She's Carol Fortis is her name. Now this girl's played by Natasha Gregson Wagner. Now for those of you who do not know, Natasha Gregson Wagner is the daughter of this guy named Richard Gregson. And he's a British producer, okay, from London, okay, a movie producer, okay, and Natalie Wood, who's a famous actress, okay? Now, there's something you got to know about them, okay? So, Natasha Gregson, okay, that's the daughter of Natalie Wood. They split up, okay, Natalie Wood and Richard Gregson, they split up. And then Natalie Wood got back with her ex-husband, Robert Wagner. Now, Robert Wagner was this pretty boy actor. He started acting like in the late 40s, but he didn't like get into movie until like the early 50s, okay? He was a pretty boy. Usually they would cast him opposite a bunch of middle-aged women from the 30s, you know, because, you know, that way they could have some hot guy to romance in the movie. Yeah, they were cougaring back then, too. He had a long affair with Barbara Stanwyck, okay, when he was like 22 and she was 45. You know Barbara Stanwyck, yeah, Big Valley. absolutely. That Barbara Stanwyck, okay, from a Double Indemnity, that Barbara Stanwyck. Okay, yeah, he was fucking her for a long time. He fucked a lot of women. And when he started off as a caddy. He was a caddy for a bunch of movie producers in Hollywood, a golf caddy guy, and he was also a gigolo, okay, but he serviced men. Yes, Robert Wagner was fucking guys. All right, I did not know that till I was an adult. Okay, but yeah, he also fucked guys too. Yeah, he fucked a lot of famous women. Yvonne Carlo, that's the mom from the Munsters. Lily from the Munsters. He fucked her, but everybody fucked her. In fact, in Hollywood one day, he bragged. He bragged about picking her up at a fucking gas station, Yvonne Carlo, and fucking her that night. He bragged about, hey, that woman, yeah, I fucked her. He bragged about it to Tony Curtis. And Tony Curtis like, oh, really? I did too, like 2 weeks ago. In fact, everybody's fucked her there. So here he thought he was special. It's like, no, she fucks everybody at that gas station. Anyway, and I remember he was in the Pink Panther, the first Pink Panther movie, the one with Richard Sellers, whatever, Peter Sellers, and what's his name? Fucking, Anyway, moving right along. So Robert Wagner was married to Natalie Wood. Okay, they got married in the 60s. Okay, after she was done fucking Elvis. Okay, she fucked a lot of guys. She'd been fucking guys since she was a little girl. Okay, because her mom pimped her out to casting directors, to fucking movie producers, to directors. I mean, her mom pimped her out as a little girl. Okay, so she really fucked up in the head, and she was hooked on drugs too. Like by the time she was 13. Okay, like she was all sorts of fucked up. All right, she was fucking everybody. She was fucking gay guys too. Okay, she fucked James Dean. She fucked Sal Mineo too. Her two co-stars from fucking Rebel Without a Cause. I mean, she was fucking everybody. Okay. Yeah, she was in Miracle on 34th Street. I just saw that this past Christmas. Okay, so so she was already fucked up in the head. Okay, so she had this kid from this producer, Richard Deacon. Okay, but before that happened, she was married. She married Robert Wagner. Okay, they were married for 2 years, and then she caught him in bed with a guy. That's according to her Lana Wood. That's Natalie Wood's sister. She caught him in bed with a guy. Yeah, and so she filed for divorce in 1971, and then she went off. She started fucking Warren Beatty. She started fucking all these other guys. Actually, she fell in love with Warren Beatty, but Warren Beatty she was Warren Beatty's side chick. Okay, whenever he couldn't get a famous actress to fuck, because Warren Beatty had a reputation for whenever you win an Academy Award, he automatically fucked you. Okay, every girl that won an Academy Award for 15 years in a row, he fucked them. That was Warren Beatty. Okay, so yeah, and of course Natalie Wood was in there too. Of course she was. Anyway, so that's all going on here. And then, so now she's a single mom again, because she had a kid from somebody else. I forgot who. Okay, so anyway, so she gets back together with Robert Wagner, and they remarry. They remarried in the 70s. Okay, and he adopted Natasha as his own daughter, as his stepdaughter. He adopted her, formally adopted her. Okay, so that hence her name, Natasha Gregson Wagner. Okay, now on November 29th, 1981, Natalie Wood was working on a movie. She was rehearsing with her co-star for a movie. The guy she was rehearsing with was Christopher Walken. Yes, Christopher Walken. I know who that is, Christopher Walken, okay? Famous actor, Christopher Walken, I loved him on Saturday Night Live where he did the Continental, a glass of fine champagne. Remember that guy, the Continental? Okay, I love Christopher Walken. He's hilarious. Anyway, he was a young man back then. Okay, and anyway, they were rehearsing on her husband's boat, his yacht. Okay, now they'd gotten into a fight. Now Robert Wagner and Natalie Wood had got, because she was on a lot of drugs and she was drunk as well. Okay, she was also scared. She never learned how to swim. She was scared of the water. Okay, but for some fucking reason she was on the yacht. Anyway, Robert Wagner gets on the yacht because he found out that she had been fucking Warren Beatty again behind his back again. So he was pissed off. Okay, he found out that she was screwing Warren Beatty. So he basically went to the yacht to confront her about her affair with Warren Beatty again, because she'd fucked him before behind his back before, right? She swore she'd never do it again, but of course Warren Beatty went right in there again, right? So anyway, so he goes to confront her. He's all angry, right? And he gets there, and what does he find when he gets on his yacht? He finds her getting fucking doggy styled by Christopher Walken. Okay, so yeah, so he's a little pissed off. All right, a little pissed off. Okay, so Christopher Walken pulls his pants up and gets the fuck out of there. He runs away, He doesn't stick around for the fucking fight because Christopher Walken was like a starting out actor. He was like brand new in the industry back then. He hadn't made a name for himself, and you know, Robert Wagner had been around since the 50s, so had Natalie Wood. Natalie Wood had been around since the fucking 30s. Okay, she was a child actress. Okay, so yeah, so he got the fuck out of there. All right, and they continue. No one knows for sure what happened. Well, Robert Wagner did testify that he was arguing with her and that he left. Okay, he went to bed after they finished arguing. They no physical altercation. Okay, that doesn't explain the fucking 35 bruises they found on her body after they found her. But anyway, so they got into an argument, and he says that he went to bed, and she must have gotten on the on one of the boats there, one of like the life raft boats there, and gone to shore. Okay, that's what he thought happened. That is not what actually happened. What happened is she fell in the water somehow, whether she was drunk and she fell off the yacht by herself, or maybe she was pushed and she drowned. She did not know how to swim, and she was screaming for help. There was witnesses there that heard her screaming for help, but they didn't know what the fuck was going on. You know, nobody bothered to fucking check up where those screams were coming from or who it was or anything like that. But anyway, the next day they found her body. Natalie Wood had passed away. She drowned. I think she was like 41 years old, but she had drowned to death, and they found a shitload of drugs in her system. One of them was a fucking Dramamine, which you take for motion sickness, you know, for seasickness, and the other one was just a shitload of fucking alcohol in her body, and then she had a whole shitload of prescription medication as well. So she was fucked up already, okay? And like I said, her body was covered in bruises, okay? And drowning doesn't cover your body in bruises, all right? So I'm pretty sure he beat the shit out of her and threw her overboard. Okay, I'm pretty sure that's what fucking happened. Can't be proven, but he, of course, they ruled him out as a suspect. They called it an accidental death, you know? They ruled it an accidental suicide, you know? But Lana Wood, that's Natalie Wood's sister, to this very, even though, yeah, she fucked Warren Beatty too, so she might have had a motive. Yeah, keeping the family, right? I swear, Warren Beatty, I gotta do a video about him. That motherfucker, he had Madonna, he was married to Annette Bening. I mean, oh my God, he had everybody in fucking Hollywood. But anyway, okay, moving right along. So, yeah, I think to this day, Lana Wood, Natalie Wood's sister, to this day, today, still claims Robert Wagner killed my sister. Robert Wagner killed my sister. Yes. Now, I gotta get this out of the way. In 2018, they did reopen the case because some new evidence came out. But officially, last year, 2022, the cops ruled him off as a suspect, as a person of interest. They got rid of that. There's not enough evidence to convict him. Okay, it's been fucking 42 years. You know, what the fuck? What are you going to do? Right. Anyway, the reason I bring all this up is because Natasha Wexton Gragner is the daughter of Natalie Wood and the adopted daughter of Robert Wagner, hence how she got her start in career in show business. And this is one of the movies she made. She did some other movies too. I think she was in one of those fucking Final Destination movies. Okay. She's done a lot. She did a movie with Heather Graham and Robert Downey Jr. before he was Iron Man, when he was still trying to regain his career. And it was about these two girls, like that. Robert Downey Jr. was fucking both of them. They did not know about each other. And once they meet, they decide to have a threesome or some shit like that. I don't fuck. I never saw the movie. I just saw the trailer, so I know that she was in that. All right. And she's a very beautiful girl. She's very, very attractive. So if she comes into my store and starts talking to me the way she is, I'm going to get turned on too. Okay. So of course, for Rob, all the old mechanisms are coming back. Now, he said earlier in the movie that he had never learned how to commit to his girlfriend Laura, and that's the reason she dumped him. Okay, because he never committed to her. Okay, he always had one foot out the door, always looking for something bigger and better. Okay, which is true. You know, he was immature as far as that goes. He doesn't really explain why that is. In the book, though, the reason he had cheated on Laura when he was with her was because he was afraid she was going to die. Okay, he was afraid that she was going to die, and he did not want to live in a life without her. In other words, if he invested so much of himself into another person and that person all of a sudden leaves, he's not strong enough to be able to take that kind of loss, to process that kind of a loss. He's going to have a nervous meltdown. He's going to want to die himself. So to spare him from feeling that way, he basically kept people at a distance, okay? And as far as women go, he'll stay with a girl for as long, but when someone better comes along, he'll dump that girl and go with the other one. That was his plan the whole time. He had never met anyone better than Laura. He did cheat on her once. That was this girl who was basically a nymphomaniac who had multiple orgasms, but she turned out to be psycho. And so he ended that relationship when that happened, and he got back with Laura. You know, he apologized to Laura for cheating on her, and she took him back, all right? But the door was always open. It's because he's immature. It's because he's afraid. He's afraid if I give so much of myself to somebody and it doesn't work out, I'm not going to be able to handle that loss. Okay, so that's why he always had one foot out the door. That's why he never committed 100%, okay, to anybody in his life, all right? Because he's so afraid of getting hurt that he's not willing to go there. Hey, you know what? That's a very realistic narrative right there. I felt that way many times. Many times I've also felt that way. It's not just you women that feel that way. It's us too. we feel that way as well. Like, why fucking bother? You know, I can get laid. Getting laid is not that difficult. But relationships, getting laid, that's a motherfucker. That's a motherfucker. Okay, those are not easy. I wish they were, but they're not. Okay. So that's going on here. Done your time. Anyway, so he's flirting with her and stuff, and Barry, Rob, you got. Oh yeah, so Barry tells him while he's flirting with Caroline. Barry says, "Hey, Rob, you got a phone call." He's like, "Take a message." She's like, "It's your girlfriend," and he's like, you know. So he goes to get it. She's like, you know. So it's Laura, that was pretty cool. Okay, he smiles and excuses himself. Okay, later, Rob is walking underneath the Blue Line train, the subway train, the L. He's walking underneath it when he sees a flyer, and in that flyer, it says, it's a flyer poster. It says, record release party at the Double Door Bar. That's the bar that she mentioned earlier, the bar that I went to many times, okay? For a new record release party for a new record at the Double Door, called, the name of the record is called, excuse me, it's called I Sold My Mom's Wheelchair. That's the name of the album, I Sold My Mom's Wheelchair. Okay, and by the Kinky Wizards. Those are those two fucking skater punks, those two 17, 18-year-old skater punks that were trying to shoplift from the store, yeah. Rob told me he was going to produce their first record because they're really good. All right, he had a tape of their music and it's really good, so he decided he's going to produce their fucking CD, all right? Featuring the triumphant return of DJ Rob Gordon. So apparently Rob is going to DJ. Now, and it says here, dance music for old people. Now, Rob is completely unaware of this. He's like, what the fuck? You know, like, this is like, wait, I haven't committed to any of this shit yet. So Rob goes back in the store and he goes like, what the fuck is this? Do y'all know anything about this? And then Barry's like, hey, don't ask me, man. It was your girlfriend's idea. So he goes back to the apartment and Laura's there on her laptop doing work, whatever. Okay. And he walks in there, okay, and he starts screaming at her. He's like, dance music for old people? And she's like, well, you know, it's an idea I had when I was sleeping with Ian. It was such a good idea that I was annoyed that we weren't back together, you know? And in fact, maybe it's the reason I came back. You know, he's like, Rich, like, a record release party? What if I was doing something that can't be canceled? She's like, what the hell are you ever doing that can't be canceled? That's not the point. The single cannot be done in time. Okay, there's a million different things. And she's like, it will be done. Oh, and guess what? Barry's band will be playing. They will be playing a set at the party. He's like, Barry's playing at this thing. That's Jack Black's character. He starts imitating Barry. Like, that Barry. She's like, are you fucking insane? Laura starts laughing, you know, and she is what Laura's doing here is she's pushing him forward to start doing things, start taking chances, and start advancing his life because he doesn't. He sits still. He doesn't move. He's more than he's not happy, but he's more than willing to fucking sit on his ass for the rest of his life and die this way. Okay, he's not motivated to do anything more with his life. Okay, yet he still complains about his life, but he doesn't do anything about it. So she's pushing him forward. Hey, you need to fucking start doing something. You know, and if you're not going to do it, then I'm going to do it for you. Okay, and that's basically what she's doing. She's committed to him again, so she wants him to advance the way she advanced. When they first met, she was a legal intern, and now she's a full-blown lawyer. She's like a junior partner at her law firm now, so she's advanced. Okay, she doesn't dress the way she used to. She has new friends now. She doesn't have the same friends she used to. Okay, but he hasn't. He's still the same fucking person he was when she first met him. You know, he hasn't changed his clothes or anything. He's still the same. You know. You know, and you know, she knows that this is the reason he's always depressed. That's why he's always melancholy, because he doesn't do anything with his life. He just sits on his ass and complains and criticizes things. You know, holy shit, man, this is fucking meta shit for me. God damn, I gotta fucking do something with my life. What the fuck am I doing? What the fuck am I doing? Look at this shit. I have fucking comic books and Transformers here. What the fuck, man? God damn, man, this movie hits close to home. Shit. Anyway. So, at the store later on, Rob offers Barry, he tells Barry, hey, listen, Barry, I will give you 10% of the front door if you don't play. He's like, Rob, we're already getting that. He's like, I'll give you 100%. I'll give you 150%. Stop playing. He's like, Rob, we need this gig. We're playing. He's like, I'll give you 150%. That's how much it means to me that you don't fucking play at this thing. I do not want to hear you play. And Barry says like, look, Rob, we are called Sonic Death Monkey. And if Laura and her bourgeoisie lawyer friends can't handle it, then fuck them. Let them riot. We're Sonic Death Monkey. Yes, that is the name of Barry, Jack Black's band in this movie, Sonic Death Monkey. Although personally, I do like their other name that they came up with, which was called Kathleen Turner Overdrive. Hey, it's a fucking Chicago Wicker Park movie. What the fuck do you expect, all right? Anyway, later on, Rob explains to one of the musicians, the Kinky Wizards, those skater bums. He talks to one of them, and he says, he's trying to explain to them, about this party. And he's okay, wait, Rob. So you're asking us not to come to the record party that you were having for our album. He's like, yes, that's exactly what I'm telling you. Don't come to the party. She's like, I don't know, man. That sounds kind of fucking stupid. So they're going, all right. Later on at the apartment, Rob explains to Laura how the record it's just not a real record. It's just a 3-song CD, okay? It's just a single. It's no big deal. That's what he tells her. And Laura says, like, okay, it's just that you are making something, Rob. You, the critic, the professional appreciator, put something new into the world. And as soon as one of those things gets sold to somebody, you're officially a part of it. Congratulations, Rob. You're growing up. Which is a good point, He's finally doing something with his life, okay? Instead of just criticizing music, he's actually producing music now. They say those that they can't do, criticize. And that's true. It's like say those who can't do, teach. It's so fucking true. It's true. The people, I criticize movies, but I know goddamn well I'm not a filmmaker. That's why I don't do like a complete, I didn't go to college to criticize movies. I can just tell you the movie's good or not and why I liked it. For me, that's good enough. I'm not a critic. I review movies. I'm not a critic. I review TV shows. I'm not a critic. Okay, I'm just giving you a review of what I think about it and why I think what I think about it, Same thing with this one, all right? But now, instead of criticizing music, he's actually going to be making music. Make the stuff that you want to hear. That's why I do this YouTube channel. I'm trying to give you the reviews that I wish I could see. Nobody is reviewing this shit the way I do. Okay? And that's why I made this YouTube, because I'm giving you something no one else is doing. For good or bad, I'm telling you exactly what I can see, what I can do, because I'm not hearing it from anywhere else. No other YouTube channels are talking about this shit the way I am. Okay? And definitely not the mainstream media. You think they're gonna fucking tell you the truth? Fuck no, they're not. They want you to keep, ingesting their fucking bullshit. It's like, come on, man. Someone's got to be real out there. Someone's got to tell you the fucking truth. This shit isn't working anymore. This fucking narrative is this woke culture. It's just not fucking going anywhere. We don't need to be told that racism is bad. And we don't need to be accused of being racist, just because we don't agree with something. No. That's just an example. But, it could be sexism. It could be homophobia, whatever. God, just because I like to have sex with women does not mean I fucking hate gay people. What the fuck? Anyway. So she tells him that you're officially a part of it now, okay? So later, Rob is on the phone. He's talking to Caroline, okay? And he's basically repeating Laura's words verbatim. Oh, I'm just trying to, I want to be a part of it now. I don't want to just criticize music. I want to be a part of it now. And if I sell these things, I'm officially a part of it now. I just want to get my message out there, that kind of thing. He starts talking to her about that. And of course, she's flirting with him over the phone too. He's like, yeah, you know what? I'd love to make you a tape. She's like, well, I would love a tape. He's like, well, I would love to make you a tape. That kind of, he's flirting with her over the phone, okay? Back to his old tricks, okay? All right, I'm going to stop my review right here, but I'll be back shortly. I will continue my review of High Fidelity from 2000. I thank you very much for watching as long as you have, and I'll see you soon on the next one. Bye.